What is going on, fellow vets? Brian Reese, Air Force Service Disabled Vet, and the VA Claims Insider, coming at you live from Austin, Texas. And today, I am revealing and explaining the most common mental health C&P exam questions. Okay, now, just to get started, I want to set the stage for this, okay? Think of your mental health C&P exam preparation, okay, your education. Think of it the same way as if you were educating yourself, preparing yourself for a job interview. Okay. You are going to try to understand types of questions and scenarios that you may be asked, right, at a job interview. It's the same way for a mental health C&P exam. There's no exact list of, hey, this is every question you're going to get asked. Okay. Because every C&P examiner does it a little bit differently within the VA's guidelines, okay? But there are some very common questions that the C&P examiner should ask you at a mental health C&P exam, which I'll cover today. Okay, first things first. If you file a VA claim for a mental health condition, chances are high that you are going to get scheduled for what's called a compensation and pension exam for mental health. You're either going to see a private healthcare provider contracted through the VA. You're either going to see him or her in person, or you're going to do it via telehealth. Okay, both are good and acceptable for rating purposes. Okay, now you might be a little bit scared. You might be a little bit uncomfortable. Okay, it's not natural to go see somebody you've never met, you don't know, who's going to make you relive all of your experiences from your military service. Okay, some of them are painful, but here's what you need to know. You need to be uncomfortably vulnerable at your C&P exam for mental health. You need to tell the examiner how you are on your worst days. Okay, how bad is your mental health affecting you? But you need to also make sure you're being honest and truthful at all times. All right, I'm going to break this down into pre-exam, so pre-mental health exam, exam day, and then post-exam, so you know exactly what to expect, as well as the types of conditions. So first things first, what is the purpose of a VA mental health exam? Well, the primary purpose is the examiner is trying to ascertain the following questions, okay? Number one, is there a current mental health disorder? Okay, do you have a mental health condition? And if yes, is it already diagnosed in a medical record, or does the examiner need to make a first-time diagnosis? Okay, now, if you're already service-connected for mental health, okay, let's say you've got a 30% rating for PTSD, but you filed for an increase, the examiner's trying to figure out if your symptoms have worsened since your last exam, okay? The next part is all about the nexus. Okay, if you've never filed a VA claim for mental health before, the examiner is trying to determine, is there a link or connection between your mental health condition and your active duty military service? Okay, that is critically important for your VA disability benefits and rating, because if there's no nexus, you're not eligible for VA disability benefits, okay, especially not for mental health if there's no nexus. Okay, and then finally, they're looking to document the severity of your mental health symptoms in terms of frequency, severity, and duration over time, okay? Frequency means how often, okay? So how often are you having horrible PTSD episodes that result in, let's just say anger, insomnia, depression, anxiety? How often are those symptoms happening? That's frequency, okay? Severity means how bad. So when you're having mental health issues and your symptoms are limiting or affecting your life in negative ways, how severe are they? Okay, how bad are they? Frequency, severity, and then finally, duration. Duration means how long, okay? How long are your mental health symptoms affecting you? Are they every day? Are you having panic attacks every single day? Or are you having panic attacks once a month? Okay, those are two very, very different things. Tell the examiner everything going on with you, okay? All right, pre-exam. Here's what you need to know. Okay. After you filed a VA claim for mental health, the CNP examiner is going to have access to all of your documents. Okay. They'll have access to something called your C file, and in particular, to the pertinent documents related to your mental health claim. Okay. They should have access to that, and they should have reviewed that prior to you even walking into their office on exam day. Okay, so just know that the examiner should have reviewed your records in detail. They should know what you claimed and what you filed for, whether it's a new claim, an increased claim, a secondary claim. They're going to already have that information prior to you walking in on exam day. Okay, what to expect on exam day? Look, I've heard people say crazy stuff, well, don't shower for a week, and wear dirty clothes. Look, man, I think that's a bunch of crap. Okay. I think that's garbage advice. And I think it's a bad look for veterans. Okay. Here's what I tell vets: wear comfortable clothing, workout clothing. If you're coming from your job, wear what you would normally wear at your job. If you're in dress pants and a polo shirt or whatever, it's fine to wear that on exam day. Okay. So what I tell vets is look how you would normally look on any given day. I recommend, though, that you do a GPS location search of where your CNP exam is going to be if it's in person. Give yourself plenty of time. Get there 30 minutes early to calm yourself down, get settled in. You can review your documents again if you choose to bring anything with you. And the other thing to be aware of is when you check in, you're going to have to check in with your ID for your CNP exam. Chances are high that you're going to get handed a list of questionnaires. Okay. You might get handed something called the PHQ-9, which is the patient health questionnaire. It talks about depression. It's the depression screen. You might also be handed something called the GAD-7 for anxiety. It's just an assessment of if you're having anxiety and how severe. If you filed a PTSD claim, you may be handed something called the PCL-5, which is a 20-question questionnaire talking about PTSD, okay, and whether you might have that. Look, I know it sucks. I know it's hard to have to relive these moments again. You got to do it, okay? You got to do it on exam day. All right, post-exam. After your mental health exam is over, the CNP examiner will complete what's called the Disability Benefits Questionnaire, the DBQ, for whatever condition you filed for. That completed DBQ goes back to the VBA regional office, and then it goes back to the VSR, the RVSR. Those are the VA raters who are assigned to work your claim. Now, in general, here's what I tell vets, okay? You can expect a rating decision within 30 to 90 calendar days after your last CNP exam. Okay. That's kind of the general guidelines. Now, yeah, the VA claims backlog sucks right now. Claims are going slower, so it could take longer. Okay. I'm going to cover what I believe, based upon my experience, what other vets have told me, the research we've done, the DBQs. I'm going to cover the most common types of questions that are going to be asked at a CNP exam for mental health. Okay. The first thing is the examiner is probably going to ask you about your mental health condition. What's going on? Do you already have a condition? What's your diagnosis? Okay. They're just trying to determine, again, back to that primary purpose. Do you have a mental health condition, and does it conform to DSM-5? Okay. That's the DSM, the Diagnostic Statistical Manual for Mental Health Conditions. That's what the VA is using to diagnose mental health disorders. Okay. They're probably going to ask you about treatment. They maybe have looked at your notes, but they may say, hey, are you receiving therapy or treatments? Okay. Just tell them if you are. They may ask about your symptoms. How bad are your symptoms? Can you give me some examples of what's going on? Okay. And how severe are they? They may want to know about your symptoms over time. Hey, I saw that you had a CNP exam for PTSD 5 years ago. This is a review exam. Have your symptoms changed at all since your last exam? Okay, be prepared to talk about that. The other thing is they may ask you things like, are you taking medications? And if you are taking medications, what are they? Do they help? Are there any side effects of the mental health conditions that you're taking? They may ask if you've ever had psychiatric hospitalization or ever been in treatment. Have you ever had any kind of an episode, maybe like a bipolar manic type situation? They should ask you about if you're suicidal, okay, or homicidal at all. Again, answer these questions as honestly and as openly as you can. I mean, if you're contemplating suicide, y'all, please get help and please tell the examiner. Okay. They may ask if you've ever gone through extensive, psychological testing or evaluations. That's typically only reserved for a first time mental health claim filer. If it's a review exam, they're probably not going to go to that extent. If you're filed a PTSD related claim, the hallmark of post traumatic stress disorder is that there's a traumatic stressor. So something happened to you. Maybe it was a combat deployment, a sexual assault situation, something traumatic triggered and caused your post traumatic stress disorder. Okay. So the examiner should try to draw out what that traumatic stressor is. They're also going to try to determine what is your level of functioning. Do you need help with daily living, personal hygiene, chores? Do you need help managing your finances, or can you handle that? Have you ever had any legal troubles, relationship troubles, marriages, divorces, estrangement from kids, job problems with employment? Okay, they're trying to draw out how bad is your mental health condition affecting you. Okay, they'll probably ask about your support system, family, friends. Just be honest about that. And again, I think the last thing that I would say to vets who are prepping for a mental health C&P exam is this: be prepared to give specific examples of the severity of your mental health symptoms at the exam. Okay, now everybody's a little bit different, so let me give you an example. Doc, I have severe anger problems and it's affecting my relationship with my spouse. I go from 0 to 100 in a split second, and I start yelling and screaming at her and she gets scared. She's afraid of me. Okay, that's an example of what I'm talking about. If you have severe anger issues, if you're having severe insomnia, Doc, I can't sleep. It's horrible. I can't get to sleep. I can't stay asleep. I don't feel like I'm rested. Okay. If you're having those issues, tell them. Okay. If you're having OCD like behaviors, checking windows, doors, locks, security systems. Okay. Sometimes maybe you routinely check stuff over and over again that is already locked. Okay. Those are, again, examples of severity of your mental health symptoms, how they're affecting you, and you're helping give that image and you're painting that picture for the provider. Okay. All right, fellow vets, I hope this helped a ton. Okay. Now, if you need help with your VA disability compensation claim, okay, if you're at the end of your rope, if you're stuck, you're frustrated, you're confused, you're angry with the system, okay? Maybe you deserve VA disability benefits, but you don't know where to start, okay? Or maybe you've tried before and you got denied, right? And you don't know what to do now. Or maybe you filed a claim when you got out of active duty service, you got a rating back, haven't looked at it for 10 or 20 or 30 years, and now you're hearing my voice. And you're like, man, after talking to some other guys and gals, I think I should have more than I do. Okay. You believe you deserve an increase. We exist for you. And because of you, that's our sole purpose, is to serve the underserved U.S. military veterans and their families. You. Okay. I want to help you change your life. I want to help you get every penny of VA disability benefits you legally, morally, ethically, and medically deserve by law. Okay. I want you to join the insider team and come home. Okay. Let's freaking do this. That's what I tell a lot of vets. You should see a banner across the bottom of the screen. It's a 3-step intake process, y'all. Our terms are simple. We're a contingent fee model. If we don't win, you don't pay. Okay. Plain and simple. And by the way, our pricing model is explained multiple times across our website. Okay. It's 6 times the monthly increase payable once, if and only if you get a VA rating increase. Okay. Fellow vets, again, you got nothing to lose and everything to gain. You can start right now at vaclaimsinsider.com. All right. I hope you found this video valuable. Please like it, share it, comment on it. I love y'all. Thank you for your service. God bless you and your family, and I'll talk to you really soon.